Today we're going to be going over some things that you may want to know about before you purchase the Previon in GTA 5 Online. Just like last week, we made a video on some things you should know about the Cypher. It's nothing too crazy, just some very simple things that may be of interest to you if you're looking to buy an awesome car in GTA 5. So with that said, I hope you go on to enjoy the video. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and without further ado, let's get into it. The very first thing we're going to go over regarding the Previon is its top speed. The top speed while driving on a flat piece of land will be 114 miles per hour. Honestly, that's not too bad. It's a little bit below average compared to some of the other LS Tuner vehicles, but 114 miles per hour is still pretty decent. Now, some people were getting kind of confused in the video I made last week about 5 things you should know about the Cypher before you purchase it. Some people just didn't understand about gravity. Like, it's really not too hard to understand. On a flat piece of land, 114 miles per hour is the top speed. If there is a slight incline, you'll be going a little bit slower than 114 miles per hour. And if the road is slightly descending, then you guys will be going a little bit faster than 114 miles per hour. It's all based on gravity. It's really not too hard to understand. So obviously, if you're driving really fast down a steep hill in a race, you're going to go much faster than 114 miles per hour. But if you're on a straight stretch and it's completely flat, just like it is here, you will go 114 miles per hour on that track, and other cars will end up passing you. Like, for instance, the Comet S2 has a 124 mile per hour top speed. The Calico GTF has a 118 mile per hour top speed. So obviously 114 miles per hour is not the best. Like I said, it was just a little bit below average. It's still pretty decent. It's better than a lot of the other LS Tuner vehicles, but it's definitely not the best in the game. So just be warned, if you're driving and you see other people passing you, there is a very good chance it's because the car just honestly isn't as fast as some of the other vehicles from this update. Don't forget, if you guys are going to be doing street races and pursuit races with this vehicle, little bumps in the road play a huge part. So if you're a good driver, you should be completely fine. Next up, let's go over the acceleration. So if we take this car and bring it over to a quarter-mile drag strip, the Previon will place 6 out of the 17 vehicles from this update. It got a time of 12.22 seconds, which honestly is pretty decent. It's definitely above average in this group here, which is great. So if you do a short quarter-mile drag race, the Previon will do pretty decent. Now if we're talking about acceleration, 0 to 100 miles per hour, it doesn't do as well here. It falls in 13th place out of all 17 vehicles. It will take it 10.5 seconds to reach 100 miles per hour. That's honestly not terrible, but comparing it to something like the Calico, which can reach 100 miles per hour in 8 seconds, or the Sultan RS Classic, which can reach 100 miles per hour in 8.5 seconds, there's a pretty significant difference there by a couple seconds, and obviously a couple seconds in a race makes a big difference. Next up, let's go over its handling. Now, like I said in the last video, it's kind of hard to judge handling because it all depends on how you drive. But when I was driving this, and I'm going to compare it to a vehicle like the Cypher, which handles very well. This car, in my opinion, handles about the same, but there's a few things you may want to know. It feels a little bit bouncy in certain instances. If there is like a tiny little part of a hill or something like that, you'll notice the car will look like it's kind of bouncing around a little bit. Another thing that's actually good is it feels much lighter than the Cypher when you're turning. That I absolutely love, and it doesn't really lose control all that much. You'll notice it feels like it's drifting, but it honestly isn't. I would compare it more to the Sultan RS Classic. It kind of feels like that when I'm driving it around. It's just a little bit longer than that car, and the performance isn't as great, but the handling is fairly similar. The main things you'll want to watch out for is the vehicle kind of jumping off the ground a bit because it, like I said, it feels fairly light, and also the back end will kick out from time to time, but it really isn't that bad. And another thing, this car is really fun to drift with and really easy. Like I said, its turning is very light, it's very simple. That's one thing I really like about this car. So the handling, in my opinion, is honestly pretty decent. It will take a couple tries to get the hang of it, but honestly, I think it's awesome. Next up is the upgrade potential. Now this car actually has a pretty decent upgrade potential. If you take a look at all 17 vehicles from this update, this car falls directly in the middle. It is in 9th place. That's honestly not too bad. It has 230 different cosmetic upgrades that you could put on it. Now, one thing you may want to know is it's kind of in the middle as well in terms of how the car looks when you fully upgrade it. In the last video I made, as you guys know the Cypher, 5 things you should know, if you just take the livery off and change the arches on it, it looks fairly stock from a short distance away. That's not a bad thing, I honestly like that. But when you take a look at this car, it kind of is in the middle between something like the Cypher fully maxed out and the Ballista Canjo fully maxed out. You guys know when you fully max that car out, it looks pretty crazy. So it's kind of just right in the middle there in terms of upgrades. I honestly like it. It's a really cool car. Like I said, it has tons of cool stuff you could do to it. So if you're into upgrading vehicles, the Previon is honestly pretty great. When it comes down to it in the end, it's obviously your decision if you want to purchase the vehicle. I honestly really like it. It's a lot of fun to drive around, and obviously it was in previous GTA games before, so it's nice to see some old vehicles being remastered and coming back into GTA 5 Online, especially because of the upgrades. I absolutely love that. You guys know I'm obsessed with upgrading cars in GTA 5, so having a lot of different upgrades that you can put on vehicles makes me extremely happy. The performance honestly isn't the best in terms of top speed, acceleration. If you're doing a quarter-mile drag race, it'll be okay. If you're doing a full drag race at the airport, the length of the entire runway, it's not going to do as well. The handling is great on it, which I absolutely love. It's really, really easy to drift around. Honestly, the car is pretty awesome, but it all depends on what you want. Let me know down below in the comments section. Are any of the things that I said in this video making you lean one way or the other in terms of purchasing this vehicle or not purchasing it? Let me know down below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully this helped you out if you were considering purchasing the Previon in GTA 5 Online. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.